morning, Algebra 1 students. For Mr. Fry, I have your accommodations and interventions for your quiz over functions. I'm going to try to clarify this. Hopefully the audio is okay with YouTube today. The past 2 days it's not been too clear, but if you turn it up, hopefully it'll work. Number one, describe how you can know if a function is linear or nonlinear. Okay, so for this one, a function, remember there's certain characteristics, linear, think of the word line in there. How are you going to know that a function is going to be making a straight line? Nonlinear means, it's going to be curved in some way, either, quadratically, like this, or like this shaped, or you may even have something cubed when they're this shaped graph. So you could use these in your explanations. There's supposed to be an arrow there. Or you could or there's also this one too that when it's on a graph like this, and this is the square root kind, it just goes kind of like a curve like that. Oh, and you also have the exponential, where it starts off low and then it goes real high, exponentially. These are all examples of nonlinears. So if you want to put that in your explanation, that would be good for number one. Number two, and pause this as needed. How can we tell if a relation is a function or not given a table? So I have a couple examples here. This table is an example of a function. This table is an example of not a function. So, what's the difference here? How can you tell by just looking at a table? Put that in your description for number two. For number three, with a graph, how can we tell a graph is a function? Does this method have a particular name? Okay, remember, there's a certain method that you could use, and this is a function because when I use that method, and I do this, I could do it and I just keep moving it, back and forth, this red line back and forth, and it only hits in one spot. Okay, that's going to go, in your description. But this one, when I go here, say for instance, it's hitting it in two spots. It's hitting my graph in two spots. So this is an example of not a function. So you got to put that in your explanation. And what is that method called? What kind of line is this? It's not horizontal. It is what? Okay, that's going to be that specific particular name for number three. For number four, what is the domain of a function and what is the range of a function? I have an example here, but you have to explain what I'm talking about here, okay? Here is the coordinates of a function, and I listed the domain, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, these numbers. And then the range, 3, 5, and 7, so that's these numbers, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, so what are those? What are those coordinates when your explanation of the domain and the range of a function? And lastly, write a function rule for the following scenario, then evaluate the function. A helicopter hovers 40 feet above the ground, then the helicopter rises at a rate of, and I should say at a rate of 21 feet per second. What is the helicopter's height after 45 seconds? So you're going to put numbers in these blanks, okay? I want you to do that. And I want you to think of, x being the seconds and h being the height, or y being the height, my x and y's. So, you're going to plug some numbers in here, and eventually you're going to plug that 45 in there, and you're going to be able to figure out after 45 seconds what the height of the helicopter is. Okay. Hopefully this helps, and if you need more help, make sure you're zooming in to me. Thank you.